Hey everyone, welcome to my Tuesday tutorial. If you're watching at around 9 p.m. on March 10th of 2020, then you're catching this live on Facebook. And if it's after that, then you're catching the replay. Please say hello to us and let us know how things are going for you today. I'm going to be sharing some tips and we'll be finding out how much chocolate you can fit in a mini curvy keepsake box. So I'll be getting to that in just a short bit. Before I do that though, I'm going to sync up to my iPad and hopefully I'll be able to see if there are any comments out there. So give a hi or a wave so that we know you're there. And let's see, whereabouts are we? Let's see if this is going to be showing up on my iPad. It's been pretty good these last few weeks. I haven't made too many or had too many problems making a connection. So we'll see if tonight we can keep the streak going. Oh yes, all right. Glenda says there won't nearly be enough chocolate in here for me. Well, that's kind of how I feel about it too. But there are some things that I really do like about these little mini curvy keepsakes. So I'll tell you what I found were some of the advantages, even though they can't hold quite as much chocolate as the original size of Curvy Keepsake Box. So yeah, I'll get to that in just a few minutes. Hello to Darlene there too. Great for you to hop on. Thanks so much. I have a weather word today to share with you. And today the weather word is splashy. Yes, it was a perfect spring splashy day. I was driving my vehicle towards home and another vehicle passed me and they hit quite a large puddle and they did not bother slowing down and I could not see out of my windshield. They just completely covered my windshield and I was glad it was my car that they splashed in, not somebody that was walking by. So splashy is our weather word of the day and our funny today. I don't know if I told you this, but I had a really good plan for Valentine's Day. And yeah, you might consider this plan too. So my Valentine's Day plan was, this was just last month, breakfast in bed, chocolates, watch movie, dinner for two, and then, oh, regret eating 2 dinners. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cute. Okay, so going to get on with the Curvy Keepsake boxes and I'll show you a couple tips for these two as well. First of all, this is what the dies look like that come with the Mini Curvy Keepsake package of dies. So there we go. Yes, Mini Curvy Keepsake Box dies. And you get the die that cuts the box out itself. And the nice thing about this compared to the old, larger Mini Curvy Keepsake or the regular Curvy Keepsake is that it's all in one piece and you can fit 4 of these onto one 12 by 12 sheet or 2 onto an 8.5 by 11. So it uses the paper really well. And I didn't really look when I was ordering this die to see what else was included in the package. And I was pleasantly surprised to see that there's little tags, a heart-shaped tag, a square, an oval, a star, little other little things that you can use along with it to create tags for the box. And I like that they are stitched too. The stitching just makes everything, it takes it to the next level. So that's what the Mini Curvy Keepsake die looks like. And some of you have maybe saying, well, I didn't see it in the new mini catalog, and it's actually not in the January through June spring mini catalog. It was in the holiday catalog and it's been carried over. So when I'm done this video, I will try to remember to put the link to this item in the comments of the in the comments of Facebook there so that you can look at it more closely and see if it's of any interest to you. Now, just comparing it to the old Curvy Keepsake box here, and I'll show you for just good measure here. So here's the old Curvy Keepsake, the original one, and here's the Mini Curvy Keepsake. And as you can see, you can fit a lot more chocolate in the old one. And I liked that you could put a lot in it, but it took a lot more paper and it took a lot more work. Well, not a lot, but a bit more work, because this was the piece that you had to cut to create the box, and you had to cut 2 of them and then layer them one on top of each other at the base. Still is put what I want to say, folded together the same way. So that part is easy, but you had to cut twice as much and you used way more paper, and I think you could only get like 2 or I don't know, maybe 3 of them in a 12 by 12 piece of designer paper or cardstock, and these you can definitely get 4 of them in the 12 by 12 paper. So this one had cute tags too. Look at that. They were, some of them were fairly similar to what's in the mini as well, but they didn't have the stitch lines, and I really like the stitch lines. And so when you cut the Mini Curvy Keepsake, there I've cut one from white cardstock. You can see that it already scores the fold lines for you. So you just push those side pieces up, and then at the top, to make it work quite well to put it together, I found it if you remembered to bend at the handles there, just fold back, that helps too. And then you take the 2 handle sides and pull them together, and here's the trick. This is a curvy keepsake box. So once you've got those handles collected at the top together and you've bent them a little bit, then you take and you push it and you curve the sides out. So can you see how I'm doing that? I'm curving them out. And you have to curve them so that this other side will fit over the top, and it just notches over like that one way, and then push again, push down to curve it out, and then there's the other side that curves over top as well. So just remember that the trick to this is when you're finally folding it and putting it all together is fold it all the scored lines and then give it a little push to make that curviness, and that will help you to put those other sides, the last 2 sides, over nicely, and it won't crinkle or anything like that. Now, I did discover something, and I just realized it's at the far end of my table. I'm going to reach it right now. This was something I had never thought of before with the regular sized Curvy Keepsake, but the Curvy Keepsake boxes make really cute little place setting treat holders, and so I made a place setting name just using, I guess that's from some of our new dies from the catalog, the rectangular scallop stitched ones, and I discovered that because there is that those 2 handles at the top that meet together, they create a slot where you could put a little place card name. So for Easter or Christmas or whatever meal that you're going to be hosting, it would be super easy just to slide those right in with the names of the people who are dining with you, and they don't have to do a lot of untying or pulling things off that are glued or anything like that. They can just slip their name out and then open it up to find their little treat inside. Now, I know the question of the day is how much chocolate can you fit in there? So I've got some chocolate off to the side here, and I'm going to pile it in so that you can see. And then when I'm done showing you how much chocolate can fit in this, I'll explain to you how I made this Curvy Keepsake box with the fancy pattern on the inside. So first of all, standard go-to kind of chocolate I figured is Hershey Kisses. So here we go. I'll throw some red ones in there because they'll be easy to see. There we go. 1. And there's 2. That's pretty good. Okay. I think we can fit another one in. 3. Well, you know what? I think we could go for it. Let's put another one in there. 4. Well, I'm thinking that we're pretty close to the top here. Oh, hey, you know what? I think it could do it. Wow. You know what? I did not practice this beforehand. This shocks me. I am really surprised. I did not think that we would be able to fit 5 Hershey Kisses into the mini keepsake box. Okay, it holds more chocolate than I realized. So, okay, kudos. That's great. That's a lot of chocolate. You just have to kind of, put them in there like puzzle pieces, get them all in, filling the space wisely, and you can get lots in there. Okay, so then for my club ladies who made these cute little tulip keepsake boxes, because we've got Easter coming up soon, I picked up these Ferrero eggs, and I guess they basically taste like Ferrero Rocher, but they're in the shape of the egg, and they're quite big eggs. They're bigger than just the regular milk chocolate eggs that you get for hiding. And so I found that with these, really, it was pretty hard to put 2 in there. Well, yeah, you can't, it was kind of hard to close it, get that last flap over onto the box. So really just one of those. And if you had the real, for sure, Ferrero, the gold round ones, one of those would fit nicely in there too. So it would be a nice way to present a Ferrero chocolate is in this keepsake box, but just one of them. And okay, I'm just looking to see, I think there's a question. Oh, Glenda says good, but still not enough. Oh, Glenda, you love chocolate too. Well, I've been just waiting to get this video done because I bought a little package of the Lindor chocolates. Oh, I love these. And there were 3 of them in there. See, 70% cocoa and 70%. I love the dark chocolate. And I've been wanting to eat this last one. And I'm like, no, I can't eat it until I've done this video. So if you love the Lindor chocolates like me and my sister Shelly, she loves them too. That's what I should put in hers, is one of these big round Lindors fits quite nicely too. You have to kind of tuck in the bit of the acetate that covers the candy, but it fits perfectly in there too. So that's another thing that works quite well. And now some of you saw a video I did a few weeks ago or so. I was putting treats in that were the caramel coffee Werthers. I like the regular Werthers, but the caramel coffee Werthers is even better. Yeah, coffee. So these are a little bit different shaped. They're more rectangular, and so I found for them to fit in the mini keepsake box, I kind of had to fold back the edges. So if you fold back the edges, you can get 1, 2, except that they want to unfold right away. You kind of have to hold them down. 3, yeah, you can squish at least 3 of the coffee Werthers into the mini keepsake box. So not bad. So if you're going to buy the die, or you already have it and you're thinking of making little treat holders for some kind of an occasion, keep in mind that about 5 kisses per person, 3 of the wrapped hard candies, 1 of the Ferrero Rochers, something like that. So, and I think that's all the candy I could find laying around the house right now that I could test for you. Just quickly to let you know how I got these tulips and stems on the box without getting it stamped on the bottom. I had just started with a white mini box that was cut out and die cut out, that is. And oh, I'm having trouble opening my ink pad. There, that's a Flirty Flamingo, and here's lovely lipstick. These are the same colors that I used in last week's video as well. And I started by going around the box and stamping all of the all of the Flirty Flamingo tulips first. And then I went to the darker color, the lovely lipstick, and everybody knows that I have this very professional term called smooshing, and so I just take and I smoosh off the light color, and because it's lighter than this color, I can stamp and ink now into the darker lovely lipstick color. So there we go, my second round of blossoms. All right. And then just gonna pull in the garden green. And what I did, and what the ladies did who came to stamp with me, is right along where the score line is on the box, we just put a sticky note like that. And, oh, I gotta grab a stem. The stem is very long, and I'm just gonna ink up the top part of it because we won't need much stem. And I just went like that, and like that. And then I grabbed the narrowest leaf from the Timeless Tulips stamp set and went in and inked up some foliage in there. And I like turning the leaf around because they're slightly different shape at each end, so you can go in and get different looks to your leaves just by turning your stamp upside down. And that's how I went around for each of the sides of the Curvy Keepsake box. Now, something hit me the other night. Again, this is things that go through my mind when I'm laying in my bed at night. Could we have, instead of putting a sticky note down at every spot, could we have just folded? Whoa, look, now that's high tech, isn't it? We could have probably just folded the box and again grabbed our green stem. Look at that. All right. And put a few leaves there, make some high, make some lower, turn it around. There we go. So we wouldn't necessarily have had to use the sticky note every time. And it's funny, like the folding is a really easy thing to do, but it just never crossed my mind. So there we go. There's always new and better ways to do things, and that's how we got the tulips and the leaves and the stems all the way around on this box. And then, like I said, remember the trick is to fold the handles back. If you're just jumping on, this is a really important part about putting your box together. It's super easy to put it together once you've cut it out. Fold the handles back. Whoops. Make sure that all the bottom folds are creased. Fold the handles up and together, and then push down to curve it. And when you push down to curve it, these last two flaps will fold over just perfectly. Okay, now getting to this one, and how did I do this? Well, as you can probably see, the Curvy Keepsake box was cut out with a window sheet. And I quite like cutting the keepsake boxes with the window sheet because the window sheet is a little bit firmer, and it won't get so dog-eared and crunched up in the corners where you handle it to undo and to do up the box. And I don't know how well this even shows up in the video, but here, I'll undo this just a little bit. You can see that with our white cardstock, and I used our Whisper White Smooth cardstock because it's the best to stamp on to get the nice cleanest stamp images, but you could use the heavier, the thick white cardstock, but then I find it's just a little bit grainier and not quite as smooth. But yeah, you just, from the handling and the opening and the closing of it, you tend to get little bends and fold lines and kind of dog ears happening with the white cardstock, and probably with the colors too. So that's the one thing I like about cutting this with the window sheet, is that it holds together a little bit better and you can handle it. So here's what I did is when, so I cut a regular one out of the window sheet, and then I cut a piece of white paper 4 inches by 4 inches square, which is just a little bit smaller than the Curvy Keepsake Box. And I centered this die in the middle of the 4-inch square, and I ran it through the machine, and when it cut out, it looked like this. So then we have a set of, oh, and I was going to remember the names of these. I think they're called the Delicate Lace Edgelet dies. I took this one Delicate Lace Edgelet die, and it works really well because what it does is it cuts this part up here. This part here is it doesn't create a cut line there, so I can lay this across, and that's where I got the pretty edging on it. And I did that 4 times, went through the Big Shot, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I did, when I ran it through the Big Shot, I did it so that those pokey little zigzag teeth were right close to the edge of where the 4-inch cut line there, and then it created this shape that's basically just like a liner for the clear acetate box. And then I did find I needed to curve my edges just a little bit, especially the ones with the handles needed a little extra curving, and it's just like the other one. Pulled that together, and then there's the 3rd flap that folds over and catches, and then you slide your treat in there, and then the 4th flap that catches, and that's how you can make it with the fancy edges. And these dies, these Delicate Lace dies, there's I think 3 other lacy dies in the set, and I think there are some other sets of dies we have too that make some really cool edges as well. So if you're playing around with this idea and making the clear window sheet box and you come up with a fancy edge, I would love to see what it looks like. And it would look like you could do this in all kinds of Easter colors, yellows, purples, light pinks and greens, and have a whole set of them with the fancy edges. And yeah, these would look really nice at a table setting too. So I hope I gave you some ideas and things that you could try, and that you enjoyed the video. And if you do have any questions about what I've created here, please leave a comment and I'll try to answer for you. And I will put the link so that you can see where to find these mini curvy keepsake boxes, because like I said, they're not in the spring catalog right now, so they're kind of hard to find. And if you're in Canada and you need some crafting, stamping kinds of products, I'd love to help you out. I'm Stamp Ventures with Shauna, and thanks so much for tuning in tonight, everyone. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye for now.